Hi everybody, it's Raid Kitty, and I'm here with my Raid Kitty S'mores, and today we are playing City Skylines. If you remember from last time, I'm still working on the CollabTown Northeast project with about 4 other builders, and I'm in the process of finishing my county fairgrounds. The last time we built a horse stable, last time we built a petting zoo, we built some exhibition tents. We built a horse track here for obstacles, and we built a barrel racing course. I spent a lot of time last episode complaining about my lack of surface painter, so if you look here at the bottom of my bar, you'll see I picked up surface painter. I cleared it with my group. So a couple things I'm going to do really quick before we get started is I'm going to surface paint this area with gravel, and then I am also going to place the horse props I picked up. So I picked up 3 different horse props. I picked up a chestnut, I picked up a bay, and I picked up a gray one. And I thought that we could use those for the horse races here, as well as the plan I have for over in this area. So let's get started with some surface painter. Ooh, too big. Okay, so on the obstacle course, I used the ruined grass to make a ruined terrain because I felt like the horses would be more likely to complete the obstacle course on grass. And then with the barrel running, I went ahead and put gravel, working more as dirt. So we have one horse preparing for the race here. We have another horse getting ready to run. And then on this one, we have multiple horses getting together at the obstacle at the same time. One on this obstacle and one all the way over here on the bridge. I felt like adding those just added a little bit more life to this build. The next thing I'm going to do is turn off my day-night cycle, because I always forget that. And I think we're going to go ahead and we're actually going to... So I've done some thinking, and if you were to draw my fairground out and you were to look at the university, my fairground is, well, it's quite large. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move all of these parking spaces into this area here, and we're going to change how the fairgrounds lays out. And then after that, we're going to go ahead and build the market area here. We're going to build this spot out, and then we're going to detail. So that's my plan for today. So I'm going to pause the game because there's going to be a lot of changes. And I'm actually going to delete a lot of this fence because we're going to be relaying it down. We might be moving the toll booth. I haven't decided yet. But I think the main thing is going to be moving the fence line. And I think we're going to leave that there because honestly that fence will continue. But because I don't know where this is going to go, we're going to have to adjust. So let's start moving some parking. Well, that was quite the project. I don't want to divulge how many, hours that took, but I am very happy with how this is looking. So let's go ahead and take a quick preview of such a beautiful plane. Now let's go ahead and preview kind of what's going on now, what changes I made. So I moved the entrance to the fairgrounds back a lot further. It was all the way up here, which means I also moved the entrance into the park where you have to pay to park further back. I moved all of the parking that was over here into two locations. One is here, where I think it makes a little bit more sense, kind of makes the fairground smaller. I also added different entrances into here. The next thing I did was shorten up the tunnel that allows for services to get in and out of the park. I also added a medical clinic here, and I made a little bit more sense of this turnaround for the police, fire, and medical, so they can get in or leave from either of these 2 points. The next thing I did was add an additional park entrance over here. So I added one where people can go directly into the riding area and the petting zoo. I also moved the main entrance from over on this right side down to the bottom, and we'll move these in a little bit. The next thing I did was shorten up this road to make it closer, close the fence in, and then over on the back side I added some additional parking. My fear at times is that the Sims are not going all the way to the back area of the fairground because they time out before they walk this far. So this allows the Sims to enter through here, but this can also act as I'm going to change this to a dirt road. This can also act as an area for trailers to park, for people to bring their horses in. It's a lot closer than having to walk them all the way from there. So I really like these new changes. Let me change this to a dirt road really quick. All right, so now that those changes are done and we've done some surface painter tool and we've gotten things functioning a little bit, I'm gonna hit play. And all the traffic's gonna freak out, but it's gonna eventually work. So later we'll come back to this entrance, and I wanna make sure that I didn't mess up the park info. No, I did not. It's looking great. Everything's working fantastic. So we have added the parking. This will take some detailing later. We have moved some stuff, so let's go ahead and move our 2 info booths. And again, these aren't necessarily info booths as much as they're welcome stations, ticket places, etc. And I'm gonna move our first bathroom closer to the entrance. I think I'm actually gonna put a second one because I feel like more bathrooms are better than not enough. Second bathroom right about there. We don't need that anymore. Looking a lot better. Okay, so we have our amusement area, we have our parking, we have our riding stables and our competition tents. So the last thing I really want to put over here is market and shopping, lots of food, lots of entertainment. So let's start by running our primary paths along here. Not quite far enough. That's okay. So there's still a couple other things I'm hoping to do with this area. I'm hoping to add some more event space up here. Uh-oh. Why is everyone leaving out that way? I don't like that. Let's take a look. Okay, well that's all marked, so I don't quite understand why people are driving that way. So, we'll have to keep an eye on that. So this already appears to be a lot more utilized. And we're charging 33 cars. I feel like this is a little bit big of a fairgrounds for a population of 42,000, but we're gonna play with it. So a lot of this area up here I'm going to want to save for seating, even though this is kind of a sunken in ground. So what that means is I'm gonna take this area and I'm gonna save that for like tents and lean-to shelters. So that's gonna be, this is gonna be held off for group. So that leaves us with this tiny little space here to do all of our market. So I was thinking, we do have the winter market, and that looks really cool, but I don't know how I feel about the big tree in the center. So what are some other things we can do? So let's take a look at this. We have the money to take a look at that. Oops, let's take a look at it and actually take a look at it this time. Okay, so minus the Christmas tree, I actually really like this. So I'm gonna have to think about that, but for now I'm gonna leave that there. So let's look at what other assets we have that could go in a market area. We got, and I don't want any of like the malls, because again, this is an outdoor area. Old Market Street is just a little big and crazy. So what I'm thinking is that that's gonna be our primary. Yeah, it's just, these assets are so cute, so adorable. I just can't help it. So let's move this into the center. And what I'm thinking about doing is I'm gonna build kind of like a farmer's market, where I'm gonna build this on the outside, and then we're gonna have some actual shops, and then we're gonna have prop shops. So that'll give us some actual commercial that people can come in and spend money on, while also not having so much commercial that we're losing demand elsewhere. So let's tighten this up there. Take these. And I don't have Rico installed, but I have found a way to use Find It and zoning and be able to plop it. I'm not sure if that's the right way to do it, and I don't know what happens if I actually do it that way, if people are going to be able to see it, but I think it'll be fine. If not, we're just gonna have to play some whack-a-mole, and I don't necessarily want to play whack-a-mole with this build. And what I mean by playing whack-a-mole is zoning a zone size and waiting for the buildings that you want to come in. I don't really want to do that. I am not a huge fan of that strategy. I think it works just fine, but it's not my favorite. So I'm gonna zone an additional square. This one's gonna be a little bit less organic than some of these ones. I know this one is not nearly as organic as this one is on the right, but I think for shopping spaces, you don't necessarily want it. You want people to be able to get around without having to figure out where they're going. You know, I want to be able to give them a map and be like, okay, in section 7B, you're gonna find this type of shop, which is what I am going for here. And that's not quite all the way out. Okay, so I want to give some of these space. Let's add some pathways to start. Add a path there. So I want a lot of connectivity. I want the availability for people to walk. Oops. Oh my goodness. Can I place a straight path? Almost no. I did, but I almost did not. Okay. So we're gonna place our paths in, and then the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hit pause and I'm gonna zone some 1x1 squares. But I will double check that that's the size I want. So I'm gonna go into my Find It. So I'm gonna pause the game. I'm gonna go into my Find It, and we're gonna look. Ooh, decals. Interesting. That's new. Okay. Oh, and that's new. Oh, my mod updated. Well, how nice is that? I can sort by props. I can sort by decals. Oh my goodness. This is a game changer. Out of curiosity. Interesting. I probably could have used that for trick too. That's okay. right, that's not what I want though. So I want low density commercial. I want eco. And so doing this, you're going to want to shift click. And I think that's it. I guess I could do leisure and tourism and just see what comes up. So I want to make sure, I don't want leisure or tourism. So I want to make sure I'm getting some nice small buildings. So I'm going to do 1 by 1, and that's going to give me these little stalls, which are really nice. And then let's see what happens. A 2 by 1 gives me these nice little eco commercials, and 2 by 2. Let's see what this looks like. Those are not good enough. So we're going to want 2 by 1, 1 by 2, 2 by 1, 1 by 2, and 1 by 1. So what I'm thinking about doing is actually placing the buildings I want first. They should not disappear until I am done, until I hit play. So let's give this a shot. So I'm going to put that, and that'll grow in. So let's say I hit play. It's going to grow, and then it disappears because it's not zoned. So we don't want that. So I'm going to take this cute little kind of a farm stand, if you look at it, and I'm going to place a couple of those around. So we have this other 1 by 2. And I'm not a fan of that building. That building looks a little funky. What's this one? Oh, that's the one I just placed down. What's this one? No. Okay, so now we're going to go to the 2 by 1s. And we're going to place... So I don't really want a burnt bean. I'm okay with stuff like that. I'm not okay with that. So we're going to place a couple of these around. So let's place one. Okay, so I've placed some around, and the last thing I'm going to do is place some 1 by 1s. So I don't want the gas station. I want mostly that one, and that one. So let's take a look at the difference between that one, which is kind of creepy in my opinion. Okay, that one is much better. It's open. Okay, so then we're just going to go down and place these last little ones. Oops. Well, I deleted whatever that one was. I think that was a 2 by 1. I'm just going to say it was. Let's go back to 1 by 1. We're going to place a couple of these. Okay, so now that we've placed all those, I'm going to go through and I'm going to zone everywhere that I placed a building. And we're going to make sure that all of them grow in. So I place buildings there. They'll grow in. And this should hopefully allow them to all grow in without issue. And if they do have an issue, then we'll plop them after we zone. All right, so we've zoned this. I'm gonna run some water because I would like it to not disappear due to lack of water. Under the roads. All right. 3, 2, 1. Okay, so some of them are disappearing. And by some, I mean quite a lot. Probably because I should have zoned beforehand. Lesson learned. Let's see if that keeps happening. Yeah, that's gonna pretty much keep happening. So that's okay. We're just gonna go through and we're gonna delete all these buildings and we're gonna do it again. Now that I've zoned where I want them, it should be a little bit easier to find what I'm looking for. And And if we look, these do level up, so I'm going to want to mark them all as historical. Even though these don't level up, I'm going to mark them as historical anyway, because the last thing I want is for them to disappear. So let's do the 1x2. And we're just going to give this a shot. We're going to see what happens. Because I've done this before, and this should work. Oh man, I'm going to have to play whack-a-mole with these buildings. Okay, so it didn't immediately go away, which is good. Okay, we're good to go. So let's place the rest of our buildings. Okay, so now let's see what happens. It's interesting to me that some of these are staying and some of them are not. So the ones that are staying, I'm going to mark historical, and I'm sure I'm just making a rookie mistake, and I'm 100% sure that not using Rico is a problem. Like 100% sure. I'm wondering if it's not because it's not marked. I bet you it's because it's not marked organic and local produce. So let's just place a little block there. And call it Market District. And we're going to place the organic and local produce there. And that should hopefully stop things from disappearing. I also don't want all of these buildings, but for now we're gonna have to deal with it. Yeah, we're gonna have to go through and delete some of these, but that's okay. Not a big deal. So I'm hoping now that I've zoned this, and I delete these. So that's what I mean by playing whack-a-mole, is you have to go around and you have to look and say, is this a building I want? Is this not a building I want? And you do that over and over and over and over and over again until you get all the buildings you want. Like, I don't want a parking structure. Sorry. So, let's try this one last time. Just one more. Just one more time. And you know what I'm going to do instead of doing it all and then hoping it works? Hitting play and seeing if it works first. And if it works, then we got a happy camper. Alright, is this going to stay? Yes. Awesome. I suppose we could leave that building. It's a little bit less creepy than I thought it was. But let's go ahead and put a 1x1 in here. Little fruit stand. Box. Okay. We're just going to start marking these historical as they show up, just in case. Alright, well, now that I've figured this out, and I probably have comments yelling at me, telling me it's because it's not an organic and local produce district. It's because it's not an organic and local produce district. Well, I know that now. So I'm going to do the rest of these, and I'll be back once it is done. Well, that was fast. That's going to be rough if all of these buildings start catching fire, but it's made of metal? I'm hoping this market doesn't just all die. That would be very, very sad. My favorite thing is I started this episode so confident that I knew how to do this and proceeded to kill this market district roughly twice, potentially 3 times. Would have been more if that fire would have spread. Can I just like mark all historic? That would be great. And I'm highly certain that these aren't going to disappear, but this will also stop them from demolishing if they go bankrupt from not having enough workers, which would make me a little sad. See, we got cars driving, which we're gonna have to address. But it doesn't have to be addressed right this second. I just want to make sure that they'll be able to get out, so... Tractor. Okay, so that should allow... Yeah. Alright. So now we have a little bit of a market district painted. And I am kind of liking it. I'm going to go ahead... Actually, I'm going to do that at the end. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take these last couple of pedestrian paths. We're going to drag them all the way to the ends. Make lots of connections. And we're going to add plenty of food, plenty of beverage stalls, and plenty of places to sit. Yeah, not enough workers, but I think that's where having this back park gate will come in handy. It's going to be to allow additional people in. Awesome. All right. So first thing I want to do is actually add the... This one's going to bother me. There we go. Just leave that space open. Perfect. So the one thing I'm going to do first, I'm going to go through and I'm going to add some actual cafes. So, you know what I'm actually going to do first? I lied. I'm going to add bathrooms. So I'm going to be pretty heavy-handed with the bathrooms, just because I think that they're important. So we got 2 on this side, 2 over there. I'm going to add 1 over here. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a couple info booths that are going to be A, kind of look like additional shops, but B, are also going to provide people with the information of where everything is, where they can find it, etc., etc. You know, you kind of want to know if you're going to be looking for, oh, I want this type of good or service, and you want them to be able to go and find it. Okay, so now we're going to add some cafes. So we're going to start with the Park Cafe. We're going to sprinkle... Ooh, this will fit perfect. We're going to put 1 there. Put 1 there. Okay, and then I want to add... I don't want the amusement park because I don't like the tile. But I'm okay adding the Zoo Cafe. So let's add the Zoo Cafe over on this side. So we're at a cafe facing in there. And then we're gonna add one right here. And then I'm gonna go into the nature reserve. I don't think the nature reserve have cafes. So maybe we'll add some park restrooms. Where's the cafe? Right there. Yeah, I just don't like that tiling. And these more or less have plain tiling. So we've added some cafes. So let's add some places for people to sit and congregate. So we have the Park Plaza there, which might, I don't think it's going to fit anywhere on the inside. What happens if we were to put plaza with trees? Ooh, that one fits really nicely, and we can add some more seating areas. So that allows us seating over there, and I want to put another one. Ooh, yeah, nice big one. Put another one. Do I want it there? Let's see what it looks like. Give them some places to sit, and that's also gonna kind of feed into this area. Okay. I do kind of prefer that tiling over that one though, so we're gonna delete that. And we are gonna go ahead and place this one because I think it looks a little bit nicer. It's not blue. Blue. Okay. And then I'm gonna add the, it's just a lot of trees. Let's see what that looks like. I think we're okay with just a couple of these plazas sprinkled around. Let's add some ramadas so people can have family picnics. Sprinkle those around. I wish I could randomly place these a little bit more consistency. Like, you know, sometimes you can place, you know, things have different colors, and so you're able to place them based on color. I wish I could do that as well with the ramadas, but you cannot, and I think that that's okay. Just a wish, but alas. Okay. I don't think there's anything else I really want to put over here. This area just feels kind of empty to me, this nice big square. So I think I'm gonna place one more ramada. You know what? I might place two. One of each. Oh, it's not close enough a road. That's okay. There we go. Okay. So I've decided that the mix of gravel and cement is not quite right like in some of the other ones. So what I think I'm actually going to do is replace these walking paths with gravel, keep the outsides as pavement like we have before. Yeah, that's so much better. Oh my goodness. Okay. Yeah, that looks kind of weird with here. And I'm sure if I tried. Okay. Let's see what I think of this. Okay. I actually like that better than the middle being pavement. I think it looks a lot nicer. I think we're going to leave it as that. So I think we're getting really close with the market district of the main stuff I want to place. And I think I said that this was going to be the last episode, but I think I'm going to have one detailing episode for this one. And I was right the first time. It's going to be 2 more episodes after the detailing episode when I said that. Maybe my first episode? Anyway, not that you really care about logistics, but I think it's time to detail. Oh my God, that took me 3 hours. But It is looking pretty cool. I did a lot of really tiny detailing. I mean, all of these tents have stuff in them. Granted, I mean, the one selling water sport equipment, kind of strange. S'mores also distracted me for a significant portion, so, you know, gotta pay attention to the cat. So I think I'm going to do a couple other things off screen before I catch you in the next episode, where we are going to finally finish up this park. We're going to add the entrance detailing, where we're going to finish up all of the detailing and really get in here and make it feel complete. But overall, I am extremely happy with this. I added a beer garden. I added lots of little places to sit and eat. I used some really interesting assets. So I used the shopping cart receptacles as little like tents that people can go into. Man, I wish I could turn off this Christmas music. Another thing I used is the sightseeing bus stop. I think kind of looks like a little lemonade stand, so I sprinkled some of those around. Let's see what else I did. Just a lot of small details to really make this place feel like home. So thank you so much for catching this episode. I hope to see you next time. If you want to catch more of my videos, please feel free to hit that subscribe button and don't forget to click the bell so that way you get all of the notifications when a new video comes out. If you like this video, feel free to leave me a like, and if you have any suggestions or see anything weird that I did, feel free to leave me a comment as well. I love feedback. Anyway, I'll see you next time.